In 1990, Illinois became the first state to require teaching the Holocaust in public schools. In 2005, that mandate was expanded to include teaching about other genocides. But how do we share such horrific events with youth in a way that is meaningful to them? To find out, we welcome Noreen Brand, Director of Education at the Holocaust Museum in Skokie, Illinois. Tell us about the Holocaust Museum.
The museum is the largest museum of its kind outside of Washington, D.C., where our National Museum sits. The museum is designed especially for 3rd through 6th graders, not going into the permanent exhibit by being involved in the Miller Family Youth exhibit, where they have an understanding of what is it to become open and accepting of others, what is bullying, how do we investigate who we are within a global society, how do we describe ourselves, and how do we look at others, and what is it that we have to do to make a difference in our world, to make our world a better place for all mankind. So our younger people come to the museum and they spend their time in the Miller Family Youth exhibit. On the 2nd floor, though, we have exhibit space that is dedicated to art. Art about the legacy of absence. What happens when there is an absence of presence and a presence of absence?
And what about parents who are hesitant? This is a horrible episode of history. Hesitant to bring their kids and expose them to the horror.
I encourage them to come to the Miller Family Youth exhibit because it is vibrant. You are in a Holocaust museum, so you still need to grapple with what is the Holocaust. And we tell it through the lens of some of our local survivors, telling stories of hope and about individuals that did things to risk their life in order to save the survivors. So we touch on the Holocaust gently, but we basically are looking at what it is to be able to coexist in society. What does it take to be an upstander, to take a stand, to make a difference for others? We look at basic acts of bullying, name calling. An example would be taking a look at what would you do if you were in a group of people and somebody started bullying. And there's some computer-generated scenarios where you sit down at a computer screen and you actually are able to take your own photograph and record your words, and you become part of the scenario.
Oh, wow, so it's very interactive.
You have to make decisions. There are rubbings where you can go around the youth space, and there are rubbing plates where there are words that can define and describe who you are, and who do you think you are in society, and who is in your universe of obligation. And you can go around and do rubbings, and then you have an option either to leave your rubbing or to take the rubbing along with you.
Okay.
Another opportunity is to spend time in the Global Community Theater looking at maps and putting together large, big floor maps that contextualize where in the world man's inhumanity to man is taking place and what has man done to make the world a better place for everybody.
So it sounds like there is quite a bit of hope to be taken.
The goal of the exhibit is that it's now up to us to make decisions and to become cognizant of what we do to affect change in our world.
What about for families or viewers who don't feel this is a direct part of their heritage? Why would this have meaning for them?
Because we live in a large city made up of many, many different communities and neighborhoods. And within all of our communities and neighborhoods, we have to look at all the people that we live with and we work with and we socialize with, and what does it mean to understand how to get along with everybody. And I think the way I would approach it is to think about everybody coming to a big table. Maybe it's a Thanksgiving table, and everybody brings a bowl of rice with them. And every single bowl of rice is made differently because within your home or my home, we always make a bowl of rice a different way. So sitting around the table could be 30 different bowls of rice. Basic is the rice. What goes in with that bowl of rice is whatever you bring to the table. So it's to explore likes and differences, creating community, understanding likes and differences, and that we can all have differences, but we're all alike because we're part of a human race. And we have to learn how to coexist with each other. I think we have issues within our own community landscape that are very large issues, and we need to break them down so that young people understand how to make decisions to be a victim, which you don't usually make the decision to be a victim, but you have the decision-making ability to choose to be a bystander or a collaborator or a perpetrator or a helper, or that helper who decides to be an upstander and to take a stand to make a difference. So the museum teaches the lessons of the Holocaust in order to help affect change with our next generations, in hopes that genocide can stop sometime within our own lifetime.
Thank you, Noreen. I'm Polly Toner for Different Drummers. Keep the faith.